Please welcome Managing Partner Plan.net, Marcus Ambrus.
It's time for me to take it. I'm the boss right now, not gonna fake it. Now when you go down, 'cause this is my game.
Good afternoon, everybody. My presentation is about the experiences I have made as a marketing performance management consultant in the last 5 years. Why did I choose this title? Why a course correction? These days, marketers love to deal with the latest innovations and catch terms, like programmatic advertising, artificial intelligence, real-time personalization, transformation, and so forth. I believe this stuff distracts most of the marketers from fundamental brand management concepts and challenges. Customer loyalty is the main driver of the health and profitability of a brand. Brands that outperform their segment on customer loyalty have higher market shares and can enforce higher prices. They usually acquire more loyal customers, and therefore their customer acquisition efficiency is better than those brands with a lower customer loyalty. It has never been easier for customers to change their relationship with brands. And that's why my company has done extensive research on the development of customer loyalty in various industries. The key findings: there has never been a stronger decrease of people's loyalty to specific brands and products. And the gap between the best and worst performing brands has become wider. Let's take a look at some of the findings. On the left, you see some insights from GfK's consumer panels. In consumer goods industries, the share of regular customers is 32% on average. Those are the loyal customers. They account for 66% of the revenue of a brand or a product. The churn rate of these regular customers is at 49%. The time window is 2 years. As 75% of newly acquired customers of a brand only buy once, a brand needs to acquire 4 to 5 new customers in order to compensate on the loss of one regular customer. If brands kind of are in the customer loyalty trap, they're really in big shit. On the right, you see a survey result. We asked several major CMOs what they know about the share of their regular customers and about their churn rates. Obviously, those CMOs are not aware of their customers' behavior. The whole marketing industry deals with customer centricity, customer experience management. Why do we then see such a misjudgment? Let's take a look on the customer journey management process in the everyday practice. So not what is talked in conferences and what's in the press, but really how is the customer journey management process done in reality. Maybe we find some answers why there is such a misjudgment on customer loyalty. In the everyday practice, there hardly is a comprehensive customer journey management. There rather is a strict division of labor. 3 big parties manage the marketing funnel with different targets and responsibilities. Marketing creates demand, sales converts demand, and CRM creates customer value. At least they try. The problem is that customer value is not a decisive target for marketing and sales. All 3 big silos usually have different targets, and most of the times they're quite contradictory. Usually the 3 parties do not share the same target audience definitions either. As of the increasing pressure on cost and efficiency, all 3 parties heavily invest in technology. and digitization. When I'm in big companies, I sometimes have the impression I'm in the middle of a tech conference. Marketing show their Adobe plans, sales show their kind of Salesforce and Google plans, and usually, at least in the DACH region, CRM shows what they do with SAP. And they strive for alignment and integration, but it's almost impossible. All three parties have good reasons for their choices. In the everyday practice, an integrated customer journey management hardly occurs, at least not in big enterprises. That's not a promising foundation to work against the decrease of customer engagement and customer loyalty. So, however, the technological opportunities have never been better than they are today. Let's take a look at a typical marketing communication program. That's the way we typically approach marketing communication in many industries today. So this is a global BMW campaign, but the architecture would be the same in financial services, in telecommunications, and so on. Whoop. Now think of a potential customer who configured the car 3 minutes ago. He skipped the configuration and has not scheduled a dealer appointment yet. Imagine this prospect interacts with our communication program. Usually there are two channels making use of the new customer insight. Digital performance advertising driven by programmatic machines and sometimes CRM. Fine. There are just two issues. We do not exploit the full potential of kind of highly relevant content. And second, think of a prospect that sees a very relevant advertisement, but then he goes to a website and starts from scratch to search for the car that he is interested in. So it's not yet the best experience. What we can and should do today is to react in this way if the prospect interacts with any of our touch points again. That's what we can do today, and I think it's reasonable from a marketing performance and conversion management perspective. But we talked about customer loyalty. And so think of an existing customer who drives a BMW and plans to buy a new car. Not necessarily this customer buys a BMW. The customer does some research on the plenty of potential features that might be relevant to her. What happens if this customer interacts with our communication program? Any idea? Nothing. The customer's behavior is ignored. That's kind of the normal situation in most of the companies. Why? Remember, it's not the task of those managing these channels. And CRM is still sleeping because there is no email address and there is no formal customer inquiry yet. Well, how we can and should react is this way. We should answer to the client's question and carry her through the customer journey to really make sure she buys a BMW. When I show this to companies, I hear a lot of excuses. So for example, they would not work as of privacy and GDPR, very popular excuses. The same companies run Google Analytics and 6 DSP pixels on their site. So that's kind of goes back to kind of it's not the job of marketing running CRM tactics, right? But it's not just about response to a product interest. A product like a car is an essential part of people's life stage and lifestyle. And of course, we can apply insights to really come up with highly relevant content and highly relevant in every aspect to present a car to specific single people and segments. This is not so much a technology issue, this is rather an issue of high quality and efficiently production of creative assets, right? But it's possible. And is it worth the extra mile? Yes, it is worth. A program like this has 4 times higher conversion rate versus kind of the usual automotive campaign. When I talk about conversion rates, what I mean by that, kind of from interaction to test drive appointments. So how does this all work technically? It's possible today. How can we make that happen? You do this with an experience management platform, of course. What is that? How can we define that? How can we explain this in a very simple way, what an experience management platform does, what we haven't done yet with all of the marketing technology we have applied? First of all, you still need channel management systems to deliver the content in special formats. But there are 2 issues. You do only measure fragments of the customer journey, and those systems are not connected. So we need to put some more technology layers to that. We need a layer that measures all channel interactions. We need another technology layer to understand who we have interacted with. The next layer helps to trigger action versus predefined rules on how to react to specific customer interactions. The 4th layer, we organize creative assets so that they're available and accessible for any kind of dynamic content deliveries. And last but not least, we need a last technology layer to be flexible on data integration and advanced analytics to learn what we do and to improve that program. And these components and a smart connection approach make up an experience cloud. Principally, we steal the data and the channel orchestration functionalities from the silos and organize data and channel orchestration centrally. That's the difference to what we have done all the years before. All of the big and popular experience clouds or marketing clouds more or less follow these platform architecture design principles. Adobe, Oracle, Salesforce, Google, and so on. That's the whole magic behind these players. Why then do so many system integrations and migrations fail if it's that easy? Changing to such a platform means a massive change for the whole organization. Look at how many people, how many roles and functions, how many common workflows and habits need to be questioned and to be changed. I hear a lot of times we've done so nice transformation programs, change everything, but look at kind of this big ambition and this big kind of change that you really need to do in order to make kind of use cases like I have showed happen. It's like changing the engines of a flying plane, and it takes a lot of time. To avoid such massive change with high risks of failure, we have turned our existing organization into a kind of experience cloud, as we got the architectural principles of a platform that's needed. I represent a group offering a wide range of marketing services to more than 400 clients, also big clients and global clients. We need a lightweight and very flexible experience management platform, a platform that considers the different maturity levels of the people involved, a platform that can be used on demand, and then can be customized and extended fast. So we took our existing technologies and organized those technologies in a way so that we can deliver against the expected and required use cases on customer experience management. Tealium has made it complete. The Tealium portfolio that we have integrated in our existing technology stack really was the missing piece, and now we benefit from a platform for us as an agency group, for our clients. We like this lightweight and flexible approach so that we can focus more on the users and the usage instead of being stuck in complex technology projects. As technology is of no use without some behavioral changes of the organizations. That's why we love to keep technology platforms simple and agile and flexible, as it's really about people's behavior. It's far more important to make progress than the technology itself. And, oh, there's no notes. Sorry, I was confused. What is the ambition? What the change ambition is quite simple. If you think back to the importance of customer loyalty, it is about marketing, sales, and CRM teaming up, align themselves, and jointly invest into better customer relationship, which translates into customer loyalty. That is kind of the change ambition that promised the highest possible business impact for brands and products. And as this, again, is a huge change that is required, as people just do not work like this, it's nearly kind of impossible to really make progress in short periods of time. We believe that little steps are far more important than messed up transformation programs with big waterfall and big roadmaps and big technology roadmaps. It's the little steps. And we convinced Porsche on that approach and help them to kind of align their global and local marketing and CRM functions. And what we did a lot of use cases. For example, we worked on kind of a consistent stories that we tell across all of the channels. Or marketing and CRM agreed on what data, what insights they want to get out of the configurator, so that the organization is flexible on where to activate on people's preferences and behaviors in the configurator. Also, there was consensus about what is the most relevant driving experiences for the Porsche customers and how can they be translated into kind of individualized and personalized digital assets. Last but not least, another piece of the work, there was also the idea that there's so many digital insights on people's attitude, affinity, and kind of likability to buy a Porsche. Why not taking all of those insights from more than 60 million configurations a year globally to really make sure to support the local dealer on how he can kind of build his showroom and how he kind of find better ideas on how to approach specific people's behaviors in the region. They were just some examples, but really the heart of it is this one. We did more than 150 use cases across the whole customer journey with many, many stakeholders on board that are required to make that happen. And there was no big change program. There was no big plans. There was no big IT platform ambitions. Really what we see here is the heart of the project. We assessed all of the use cases on the expected business impact. That's kind of the usual thing you do in such a consulting slide. But more important is the assessment on the complexity. And the complexity has so many factors that we build kind of a complexity model. Do we have the skills needed? Do we have the workflows needed? Do we have the technology needed? Do we have the analytical methods needed? What do we need before we go to acquire new pieces of software, new skills? We want to make sure to first fully exploit all available stuff that's in Porsche to do this really first. So if use cases can be done with excellent Photoshop, we do use cases with excellent Photoshop. If kind of the next bucket of use cases is about implementing Tealium as a CDP, we implement Tealium as a CDP, right? This is so different from how usually big enterprises operate. To really do the development end-to-end, both the organization, the mindset, the marketing strategy, and the IT platform, to do this in those big iterations. is against the logics of IT people designing a platform, building a taxonomy, looking after the connections and the interfaces. Look, this is all right, how it has been done so far. But on the other end, there has been so much failure. The only problem doing it this way is really, I have many fights with procurement departments because they tick like kind of the big tech vendors. They want technologies to purchase them 3 years and then fix they're there, whether you use it or not. That's how procurement usually ticks. Going into kind of an agile purchasing strategy, into an agile implementation to really make sure that it's not just about ideas, but to really put use cases into practice and really learn how this works and what's worth investing and what's worth doing when it comes to data management, analytics, technology management. This is a far more effective approach at far lower cost levels. I cannot share with you the Porsche platform design, but I want to show you our own platform as an agency group for those customers who might not have the maturity yet to build their own platforms. It's quite complicated as the last slide, but the key message here is that we built this up step by step so that it really works into practice. I get so many questions. What's the differences between DMP and DMP, DMP and CDP? What makes Tealium different? What makes Adobe different? What do I need? What do I don't need? And doing this step by step really gives clarity. What is it? What specific components in an architecture and specific technology vendors, really, how do they stand out? What is kind of the edge in a platform when it comes to marketing chops and performance? Where is the redundancy that maybe is tolerated or not tolerated? This usually kind of is the decisions we have made, and that really reduces the risk enormously and brings far more motivation into a big team that change the way they operate. So, but this is again technology. My last slide is kind of what I have learned the hard way in those 5 years. The recipe for success is not about technology selection. It's not about change management, artificial intelligence ideas. It's about an ongoing training of the collaboration of many different skills. If you're a marketing expert, you will never shine in technology. Forget about that. If you're kind of an engineer, you will never shine in the best possible creative campaign. Forget about that. If you're a business administration guy, you know some maths, but the data scientist knows it better. And it's the other way around. Instead of thinking about being someone else, changing all of the organizations, I think our future is about collaboration, readiness, willingness, motivation, capability, and cope with working with many different skills. That's kind of the key to unlock all of these catch terms and magic from my point of view. And it makes totally sense because think of a soccer team. The best equipment for a soccer team does not help them to win games. They must train on playing well together and then they win games. And I'm really glad that Tealium, out of the many options we have assessed, is for us the right technology as of its flexibility, as of its lightweight, as an equipment to play the game and become better at playing. Thank you for that.